We are going to know the law this day. Today, Rachel Pappy, she's partner and vice president of Polston Tax. She's here to keep us in the know when it comes to IRS.
Especially when you're working in construction and owing taxes. Now, this is interesting because the construction business, first off, it's booming, but there's also times where it's not. And this is where tax problems really fall for a lot of people. Then we really need to know about that. First, I want to find out, why is it easier for people who actually work in construction to fall behind on their taxes?
Right. So you have to think about, if you're in construction, you may not be working all winter. May start to get some jobs in the spring, but you're really going and blowing all through the summer. If you had no money to live on through the winter and spring, you're probably behind on a lot of things by the time summer rolls around and you finally get that first paycheck. It's so easy for people when they make that money in the summer and then they don't know if they're going to have anything in the fall and again in the winter, to not write that big check to the IRS for the taxes they owe.
So, okay, a common misconception is, oh, we pay our taxes on April 15th. What you're saying is, go ahead and you can pay it right when you get that check if you want to, right? Am I right?
Right, yeah, exactly. And especially right now, we're in June. We're about halfway through the year. You're going to know about half of what you owe in taxes. You have the money in your hand right now. You may not have it come April 15th of next year. So now's the time to kind of calculate, what have I made this year? Even if you've only been working for a month, send in a check now, because the likelihood is you won't be able to keep it in the bank.
When we fill out our taxes, it asks sometimes you want to do your estimated taxes. What is estimated taxes?
Right. Estimated tax payments are something that the IRS expects of people who have self-employed income, get 1099 income, like construction or oil and gas, or really anyone who's self-employed. The IRS wants you to send a check for the first quarter, which is January, February, March, second quarter, again, the next 3 months, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So 4 different checks throughout the year for each of those quarters. And the point of that is to sort of keep you on track for the income you've earned and the taxes you owe.
Okay. Now, with that, is it a special form? Is it different from like what I would fill out near April?
Right. So in April, you're going to send in your tax return, which is the Form 1040.
Okay.
And just as easily online, you can print out for free the Form 1040-ES, which is what you send in with your estimated tax payment.
Okay.
It just has your social security number on there, and you put the amount that you're paying with. Honestly, you don't even have to send in the form if you don't want to. Just send a check in that says estimated tax payment in the memo line. That's good enough, but if it were me, I would send both things, a check and that Form 1040-ES.
Let me ask you this. Let's say some people, they might have a job, but they have a secondary job where that might be the case, where they have a big check that might come in. Is there a limit where you don't have to necessarily file it, or after a certain amount, then they need to make sure they pay those quarterly payments?
Yeah, right. So there definitely are limits on who needs to make an estimated tax payment. I would say the good rule of thumb is if you get self-employed income at all, make an estimated tax payment. Really, if you're not owing taxes at the end of the year, or you're able to pay it in full, you just happen to have that money in the bank to be able to pay it in full, it's not as big of a dilemma for you. But anyone who finds that I'm hit on April 15th with this huge check that I'm just struggling to come up with, and maybe even trying to pay it by October 15th instead, start making those estimated tax payments to kind of keep you on track all year round and not be in the hole come April 15th.
And estimated, of course, obviously is a roundabout. So there is a possibility if you overpay, I mean, you'll get your refund back, right?
Right, absolutely. If you overpay, you'll get that money back. And really, so right now we're in June, you're going to only look at the money that you've earned thus far. So it's not going to be accurate for, it may not be the same amount for first quarter as it is for second quarter. It may not be the same amount third quarter and fourth quarter. They may be differing amounts. And you may not make any money at the end of the year. So you may pay a little bit for what you've already earned and then not have anything to pay for third or fourth quarter. So it just varies.
Yeah.
If you really don't know, a good rule of thumb to guess is if you feel like you're making about the same amount of money this year as you did last year,
right.
Figure out how much you made or owed last year, divide it by 4, and pay that amount 4 times in the year.
All right. And of course, and your best bet too, especially if you own a business and maybe you might be a small business, is get the tax professionals. And we suggest Polston Tax Resolution and Accounting. They've got 5 locations: Oklahoma City, Edmond, Norman, Tulsa, and Wichita. You can also give them a call at 405-801-2146. Maybe you have a relative that needs some tax help. They take clients nationwide. You can get a hold of them many ways. Best way on their website. They're all over social media with Polston Tax. Just look for them on social media.